The first Grand Slam event just happened in Jamaica, and I'm going to explain why. Emmanuel Wanyonyi won 100,000 US dollars, while Makarop won 50,000 US dollars, despite the two competing in the same events and one winning each of the events. Emmanuel Wanyonyi won 1500 meters, while Makarop won 800 meters. So what sets them apart? Like, why the difference in the amount of money they earned? So in that regards, I'll be able to explain how the event works, and also I'll be able to explain like why maybe the event had a very low turnout. So to begin with, we're supposed to have 4 events. So far, this is the first one. We will have 4 events this year, and in each event it will have 96 participants. So out of these 96 participants, if you divide by 2, you get 48. So 48 participants are contracted by the event racers. These guys, they're supposed to be there every time in each of the 4 events. So these 4 people, they are called racers. And I mean, these 48 people, they are called racers, and they're the ones who are contracted by the event organizers, and they're supposed to participate in each event, each of the 4 Grand Slams, unless you maybe have an injury or anything that you have to miss, but you're supposed to perform in each. And now these 48 people are the ones who are competing for the Grand Slam. These 48 people are the ones who are competing for the Grand Slam. They are called the racers. Then on the other hand, we have challenges. Now these challenges, again, they are 48, and challenges, they might vary from each event. So like Emmanuel Wanyonyi is a challenger, so he might not be able to participate in the next event. It will depend with the event organizers. If they come for you, they want you to participate again, and also it will depend with your management if they want you to participate in the event again or not. According to the contracts they had, in each Grand Slam, you're supposed to participate in at least 2 events, or at most 2 events. So you can either do 100 meters and 200 meters, or you can do 400 short and 400 meter hurdles long, or you can be able to do like 800 meters and 1500 meters. So in each of the event, let's say like 800 meters, you have 8 participants. In 100 meters, you have 8 participants. In 200 meters, you have 8 participants. So the same people who compete in 100 meters are the same people who are supposed to compete in 200 meters. The same people who compete in 800 meters are the same people who are supposed to compete in 1500 meters. So if we take in regards to 800 meters and 1500 meters, I mean, before I go in and explain more, let me first give you how the points are given. So we have 8 participants in each event. Now, the person who comes number 8 will earn money as well. Everybody in the event earns money, and even the racers who are contracted, there's some extra money that they'll be able to earn later on, but let me not go into that. So we have these 8 people, number 1 up to number 8. So number 8, each person is given a point. Number 8 is given 1 point. Number 7 is given 2 points. Number 6 is given 3 points. You go that way until you get to number 3 gets 6 points. Then number 2 gets 8 points, and number 1 gets a lot of points, which is 12 points. Now when it came to 800 meters, we had Makarop winning 800 meters. So because Makarop won 800 meters, he was given clean 12 points, and Emmanuel Wanyonyi came second, so he was given clean 8 points. Now when we go to the other event, which is now 1500 meters, in 1500 meters we had Emmanuel Wanyonyi coming in first. Because he came in first, he got 12 points. So if you take the 12 points and you add to the 8 points, you get 20 points. And now if you take what Makarop had in the 1500 meters event, Makarop came in with 3 points. He was number 6, so he came in with 3 points. So you take 12 points from finishing number 1 in 800 meters, and you add 3 points for finishing number 6 in 1500 meters. So that way you get 15 points. So it means in the same event, so you have this same athlete competing in 2 events. So once you compete in the 2 events, they add your points together to determine who is the winner of the event. In case Emmanuel Wanyonyi chooses to participate later, we know that Emmanuel Wanyonyi is just a challenger, is not contracted by the event organizers. So in case he chooses to participate later, they will be able to add his points more, And by the time we get to the end of the event, we are supposed to have one winner from the men and one winner from the women. So how it works is you have people like now Bednarik. Bednarik was able to win 24 points, and a lot of others were also able to win 24 points. Now the man who will have most of the points will win the Grand Slam for men, and the woman who will have most of the points will win the Grand Slam for women. And in case of a tie, there are rules which they use to be able to solve that issue. In terms of the points, they can be able to look at maybe who won most of the races and all that. So there are some rules that can be able to solve that situation. And now, when it comes to maybe why the event had a very low turnout, one of the issue has to do with these people who are contracted, who are called the racers. So the racers, these are people who, like, they're the main focus of the event. The racers are the main focus of the event. They're the people you are following. They're the people who are supposed to win the Grand Slam. Remember, like I said, the challengers, they can be able to participate in today's event, and maybe next time they won't be able to participate because of some reasons. But for the racers, they are contracted by the event organizers, and there are 4 of them in each event. They are contracted by the event organizers to make sure that they participate throughout the event. These guys are 48. So these 48 are the ones who are competing for the money, or the final money, or the points, or the final tally of the points. So for people to turn up in large numbers, it depends with who you contracted. So this first Grand Slam, they have had issues trying to get some, like, people who have a huge following. We are talking about people like maybe Sherika, Shakari, talk of Lyles, talk of Ball, and others, like people who have like a huge following and they're loved by a lot of people. Talk about Jacob when it comes to 1500 and 800 1500 and 5000, like people who have a huge following. So some of these people are not okay with the event, how it was organized. The likes of Ball, her coach, was not okay with how the event is organized, how you're supposed to participate in 2 events and the span. Like in each Grand Slam, you're supposed to participate in 2 events, and the difference between the interval between the 2 events is like just a few hours, which is more like 21 hours. And then we had the likes of Lyles. He wasn't okay with the event because for him, he says that the money is okay, like you can pay him the 100,000 USD, which is okay, but he's more interested in like sponsorship. Like he wants more to do with sponsorship. He wants to know what the sponsors of the event and how the athletes can be able to earn from sponsorship. So that is his biggest thing, which means athletes tend to earn more from sponsorship than any other thing. But now when you compare, of course, to African athletes, it becomes a little bit different, because most African athletes, they earn from sponsorship, but it's more from prize money, because most sponsorship deals in sports tend to happen in the US. When you come here on the continent, pretty few, unless you're like the top tier. We're talking the likes of maybe Faith Kipyegon, Eliud Kipchoge, then you're most likely to get high sponsorship. But again, it's not the same level. Like if Eliud Kipchoge was like a US citizen, he will have earned a way lot more in sponsorship than the way he maybe earns now. That one I'm pretty sure. So there's that thing of the type of athletes you get. Remember, the likes of Faith Kipyegon are not participating. They're not participating as racers. Like all the big names, some of the most biggest names that we know of, they're not taking part in this event as racers. So as such, you will have a lot turnout of people who come to watch the event, because some people are fans of these people. You have the likes of these people who have lots of following on the social media. So people tend to turn up in large numbers to be able to watch them. So that is the thing why. And also, it's a new event. Many people don't know how it works, but as time goes on and people begin catching up, I'm pretty sure the turn up will increase once people know how it works. And it also comes to advertisement. When they advertise it more, many people will turn out and it will go crazy. And also, one reason that some people had is the event is only taking place in the US and now Jamaica, but the remaining 3 Grand Slams will be happening in the US. So some people have an issue with that, because now you're turning it to be more like a US event and not a worldwide event. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this, and if you did, you can sub, and see you in the next one.